Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. So we want to follow up on the story that we really got some information in over the weekend. So listen to this, and this is from CNPD. The FBI, and this is the headline, FBI, 10 most wanted fugitive Alejandro Castillo captured. All right, so again, it goes on to read. I'm reading a little bit of that press release from CNPD, but FBI Charlotte Special Agent in charge and CNPD announcing the capture of 10 most wanted fugitive Alex Castillo. Castillo was seen on surveillance video crossing the border from Arizona into Mexico. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre is in studio. You're following the story, breaking it down. Just to be transparent, there's a lot.
There is a lot to this case, but this is a huge arrest. Again, he was in the top 10, FBI's top 10 most wanted list. And, you know, this has been a manhunt that's been going on for a decade for Alejandro Castillo, again, for the murder of Sandy Lee, which happened back in August of 2016. You know, her body was found in Cabarrus County, actually, and she had been shot in the head. And, you know, again, for a decade, the FBI have been looking for her. The last thing I do remember is that, you know, police say that, you know, that Castillo and Lee were, you know, had a relationship in the past and so forth, and that, you know, Castillo and his current girlfriend at the time were the last two people that she was with and so forth. But there's also a lot of different things that have happened. You know, her vehicle was found in Arizona not too long after when, you know, she was first reported missing by her family and friends and so forth. Her car was found in Arizona. There was surveillance video that captured Castillo and the woman that he was with, I think last name Feaster at the time, and so forth. And so there was a lot of thought that they, you know, had vanished and went away to Mexico somewhere and so forth. She actually turned herself in a year later or sometime after. And so, again, there's been this manhunt for Castillo and so forth. So, you know, I spoke to an attorney today really kind of trying to break down, like, what is next. He says the process of extradition can take some time. You know, you want to make sure that the person is the right person who is wanted, that they have the, you know, all the paperwork in order. He says that paperwork takes a long time. He says that, you know, being that also he fled, you have a lot of different aspects to the case that makes it even higher, but it could be 30 to 90 days, he says, before he's extradited back here, and where he would have his first court appearance and etc. He says other thing that would be on the table, especially since this is a murder case, is if he would face death penalty or not, you know, here in North Carolina. And so there is a lot of at play. We're also looking at a case that's 10 years old. You know, obviously 2016 is not that far away, you know, but, you know, when we're talking about evidence, witnesses, anything that could be used in a case like this, you know, making sure all of that is intact and that the state has everything they need to make sure that they can present this to prosecute this case and move forward and so forth. And then you have the accomplice who, you know, was arrested for accessory. You know, who knows what role she will play in all of this, you know, what information she'll be able to bring into, you know, forward these charges against Castillo and so forth. So a lot of steps to come before he even makes it over here, right? A lot of paperwork, so we'll see how long that takes, but I know we'll definitely be there for that first appearance. Now, another thing he said too, extradition things are really secretive, you know, because you don't want any error, you don't want no issues, you know, you have someone who's been gone for 10 years. You don't want no issues of bringing him back. And so, you know, he says that until they're here, a lot of that stuff gets kept really hush-hush. So that was one thing he mentioned.
Oh, man. Yeah, a lot can happen in 10 years. And I'm reading this quote from Russ Ferguson, the U.S. Attorney for the Western District here in North Carolina. So he says, quote, "Those who engage in violence will not get away with it no matter how hard they try. This case is a testament that we will never give up on our pursuit of justice." Again, that's from Russ Ferguson, U.S. Attorney for the Western District of North Carolina. And that holds true because it's been nearly 10 years. And so we'll see what plays out in court when he finally gets here.
And, you know, and in one way, you know, it's like, it's a step closer for closure for the family.
Yep.
But then it also reopens everything, right? Because now you're, who knows what you're going to be hearing in court and trial and all these different things. And, we know the court process takes a long time,
and
too.
I feel like since last year, at least, if I'm going back to last year, you've seen that up close with different families and different cases. And
it could take a long time, and the fight for justice doesn't end, and I think that at least there's an arrest, at least there's an extradition process that's going to come, and hopefully in a couple of years, who knows how long, they'll get an answer that makes them be able to close this chapter.
When can folks check out your story tonight?
5 o'clock for sure, and I think 6.
You got it right. That was a test. You got it right, folks.
5 and 6, I believe.
I was ready to bail you out. Jesse, per usual, thank you for your work on this story, and thank you for stopping by the studio.
Thank you.
We get to see Jesse sometime. We usually see her on a live show or Zoom, so lucky to have Jesse here in studio. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus.